The Newberg School District has officially rescinded its ban on political symbols that was at the center of a heated debate.
Fox 4's Joe Vithiathil is here now to tell us about what appears to be the end of a controversy that gained national attention. Joe?
Yeah, Kim and Shauna, this was a measure that led to protests, school board members resigning, and even the Newberg School District firing its superintendent at one point. It all started in September of 2021 when the school board approved a measure that banned employees from displaying political signage on school grounds. And the school board said that applied to things like pride flags and Black Lives Matter signs. Well, a number of people protested the ban. The board actually at one point eventually voted to fire its superintendent, Joe Morlock. That led to even more protests and a board member resigning. Then there was a public vote to recall 2 board members behind the measure. That failed, but the measure was challenged in court. And the ACLU won a lawsuit against the school district in September, and then the Newberg Teachers Union settled another suit in December. And it was that settlement that led to this moment at the Newberg School Board meeting last week.
With that policy, this went before the court system here in the state. And so we had the opportunity, whether we wanted to amend policy GBG as a board or whether we wanted to rescind it. And so the recommendation before you is that we rescind the policy outright.
And after that, there was no real discussion or debate. The board voted 7-0 to get rid of that policy and that ban. The Newberg Education Association, again, posted on Facebook about the settlement of their lawsuit with the district. And they say part of the settlement will see the NEA reimbursed for much of their legal fees. They called the settlement bittersweet. While they're happy to see the ban go, they said that if the school board had rescinded the policy last year, they could have saved a lot of time and taxpayers' money. Kim and Shauna, back to you.